And again, these are the paradigms. This is what the voice will tell us. I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the support, I can't because. And what we're learning here is to what would I love? And as I make a decision for what I would love, providence will move to support you. Every time it's physics. It works with mathematical precision. And at the moment of decision, at the suggestion of a move, we decide for something we would love, your paradigm will put up a royal battle. Not just a little argument, a little, hey, are you sure? Put up a royal battle and it will continually fight you. You must take conscious control over the paradigm, remove it, and replace it. This is an important piece to recognize. I ask the question, what would I love? I make a decision for it. I showed you the slide yesterday of the kid that's like, whoa, and then like, oh my God, right? We have these two parts within us. Some of you have made a decision for your dream and you're feeling that right now. There's a part of you that's like, woohoo, and there's a part of you like, what have I just done? That's part of the system of transformation. It's so good to acknowledge that. It's a sign and a signal that you're about to grow. You're about to leave your comfort zone, and your paradigm wants to keep you safe. So it's going to try to delay you, and it's going to try to distract you, and it's going to try to dissuade you. And if it can't do that, it will DEFCON you. The fear, the panic. Jesse walked in on Friday morning, and I'm having a DEFCON moment because I just made a major move in the direction of my vision. And her paradigm's putting up a royal battle, not if, when. She said, I'm so glad that I was coming to this structure of support. So I knew I would move through this. You want those structures of support to help you through those moments. So dissuasion. The part of us that wants us it wants to dissuade us from moving forward. It's the little voice in our minds that says, who do you think you are? You've tried this before, it doesn't work. What will people think? What if you fail? We're going to work with that voice. You've been asking for tools. What do I do when that fear rises up? That's what we're doing this morning here. This woman, Karen Joyce, Karen was making the decision to move from the Portland, Oregon area to Southern California. And she had a vision for the home that she would love to live in. She was going to rent a place while she looked for a home. And she had a vision for what she would love in a home. And she imagined garden areas. She loved the garden and windows with a view. And she wanted an office that was the command center for her soul. And she's visioning this place and having a hard time finding it. And eventually she finds the perfect apartment. And she moves in and she is so happy, happier than she'd been in a long time. Within a few days, she's out for a run. She was a runner. And she's out for a run. And all of a sudden, she notices a little voice saying, you said you wanted to buy and now you're renting. You just might as well be flushing that money down the toilet. Do you really need that much space for just you? It feels a little excessive. You're paying $1,000 a month more than you had budgeted for. Maybe you should find a smaller place that's less money. And this little voice, the voice of dissuasion, is running in her head. And as she's trained herself to notice what she's noticing, she hears this voice and she stops running and she stomps her foot and she says, excuse me, out loud. I interrupt this broadcast with a very important message from my soul. I am a child of God and I deserve to live a life I love. Takes a breath and starts running again. And it's a tool for us to use at the moment, that paradigm, at the suggestion of a move. You make a move outside of your comfort zone. that paradigm's going to have something to say. The gravitational pull. And in that moment, and it will continually fight you. If we don't take conscious control of it, what did she do? Excuse me. That's a take conscious control of it moment. I interrupt this broadcast. You have a broadcast that's been speaking to you. Most of us aren't even aware because we don't know to notice what we're noticing. We're just letting that broadcast run our thinking. An internal broadcast and an external broadcast. Take conscious control of it, remove it, and replace it. How do I override that dissuasive voice? First of all, I have to notice it. Secondly, I have to interrupt it. And third, I have to replace it. Sheila, joining us from the island. Sheila had a vision. Sheila had lived overseas for many years, moved to Vancouver Island, and we're doing some work together, and she's building a vision, and she's renting an apartment. She'd never owned her own home before, and she has a vision and a dream that I think I would love to own my own home. And she starts creating a vision of her home. And in that process of visioning, you could see the parts of her that, well, that's not practical. I don't need that much space. I'll just take this. And you could see that part, even in the visioning progress, will argue you to dream smaller. Anybody have that voice arguing, maybe that's too big. Let's just be a little more practical. That's the paradigm. That's not the voice of truth. That's the paradigm. It's what would I love, not what do I think is possible. Creating the vision of the home she would love and not really believing that it's possible. We vision even when we don't think it's possible. And she's visioning this procession, and she's wondering, am I going to be able to afford it? Do I really need a home? What if she's overwhelmed? Her paradigm, she was overwhelmed by the buying process as well. What if I get taken advantage of? What if I don't understand the process? What if I don't get the best interest rates? Voice of dissuasion. Voice of dissuasion. What if I make the wrong decision? Anybody had that thought? What if I make the wrong decision? Yeah. And on and on and on. And she said, I also started listening to the wrong people. Everybody's going to have an opinion about your dream if you let them. But because she had structures of support, what's a step I can take? And in a very short time, Sheila actually had a home built for her and had dreams of the backyard that she wanted to create. And she's been building that backyard and her sanctuary in the summer, and she's growing, it was cantaloupe, I think. Sheila, give me a thumbs up. Was it cantaloupe? Yeah, she grew cantaloupe this summer.